Oh my goodness. Alright. Coffee. Yum, 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 yum. Yum, 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 yum. What the fuck are you doing? What the hell? Seriously? Seriously? Damn Doge. You damn Doge. Ba-do-do. Ba-do-do-do. Alright, time to get a little wake bait going. Get this started and all that fun stuff. Aye, aye, aye. Oh, let's save that. Save that for later. Hey, little goofy doggo. Hey, little boo boo. Who's your sweet little fun? I'll give him a little treat. Give him a little treat. A little something to have fun with. There you go. See? Womp. Silly thing. Oh, silly little doggo. The little pup is all anxious this morning. Freaking, my roommate and his wife are hanging out there, or at least were. I think he's off to work now. I think. And he was all like freaking out, being like, "Woof, woof, woof." All this other shit, just because like, I want to see what's going on out there. Why can't I see? Come on, let me out there, human. I want to see what's happening. Of course, pup is just a silly little thing. He just always has to be involved with what other people are doing. And it's adorable. He's just so cute. He's getting more like vocally whining too sometimes. Like he does these like, you know, he'll do those now. Like he'll start doing those little things where it just sounds like he's really being like, come on, let me out. I want to go play. You know, it just has that. It's really got that vibe going on now. He'll do that every now and then. It's just so adorable. And when he yawns, like he'll just be like, just make these most loudest little noises ever. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous, cute little dork. You're just a ridiculous dork, you know that, dog? You're just a dork. Just completely ridiculous little thing. Make sure there's a tune going on. There we go. Why'd you get silent all of a sudden? Makes me a little nervous. It rhymes with baguette. That applies also to you. I'm thinking, and I would say is probably, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it's faggot, right? No, it's actually not. It's actually, you know, like, crack it. Because I'm just, you know, being a big old pile of crackhead. I don't fucking know. I was trying to see if I could find another word to rhyme with baguette instead of faggot. But I really was struggling. My brain could not. I don't think it's quite awake yet for that. I don't think it's been energized enough. Come on, wake up. Wake up, brain. Sadget. Maggot. I feel like that's worse. Wait, your stepdude try to do that on you? Wow. Like how like your step douche. I like how that's the new name for it. I think you might be listening in when I stream. When you stream? I mean, does he like know that you actually do those, or do you mean like when I stream? Like, does he like listen into these? If that's the case, I really don't give a shit. I mean, I know he's over, like, looked over your shoulder once or twice, because there's been a few times where I've had my AK out, and you've said he's, you know, seen it. Both. Whatever, I don't really give a fuck. I mean, honestly, if he does know all the weird little things, especially in the mornings, I feel like, you know, we talk about him the most in the mornings. But, like, when I start these, you know, for the afternoon. But, like, honestly, if he does, then that would honestly kind of be a little funny to me, because, like, well, like, it's like, you know, come on, you know, like, come on, you know, to the chat, or hit me up or something, old man. Come on. Like, I would generally be curious to hear what would he have to say. You know, if he really wanted to let his heart out. It's 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. Well, yeah, but there's, I guess, an off chance that, you know, he could be listening in on a break. But I doubt he's really being that Machiavellian about it. He's probably more or less just checking, like, you know, or seeing if he can check your socials, hence why that he tried to friend request you on Facebook and shit, but I don't know if it's, like, he's that tech savvy. Yeah, well, dude, I mean, just because someone isn't tech savvy doesn't mean they can't navigate the internet, you know what I mean? I mean, like, my dad ain't tech savvy, but he, you know, has a basic idea about how to navigate the internet and, you know, go for that. Man can barely keep a virus off his computer, let alone stock. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you know what, actually, I can't really be as dumb as my dad about that one. Because for, like, the longest time, I don't think so anymore, but for, like, the longest time, he literally thought that, like, you know, being on YouTube, you know, would basically just, you know, like, download the videos, apparently, to the computer and shit, which supposedly gave the computer viruses and stuff, which, of course, me, obviously understanding what the fuck the internet is, and what YouTube is, I'm just sitting here like, literally no. Like, even if I did download videos from YouTube directly, like, it's, you know, through secure servers. Like, there's no way that there'd be a virus. That's insane. Unless I did it via third party, then there's an off chance. But even then, likely not. Unless I went to a sketchy one. So, it's just like, dude's just got some serious... Oh, he's got the Google ball. But it's got, like, really a bare minimal understanding about shit. I mean, he at least knows how to navigate the internet and stuff. He just has a very hard time realizing what the fuck it actually is, I think. Because he kind of grew up basically being, you know, like... You know, just like from the old days of the internet, because he grew up when, like, computers were, like, first being a thing. Like, you know, like, an actual computer basically would, like, back in the day, you know, when he was, like, in college and shit, literally fit in a fucking garage. Like, I mean, he was in college, like, working on college computers and stuff there, where you would have to, like, yeah, put in, like, these little paper, like, hole sheet, like, punch hole sheet things, and, like, these hole punch cards, and... other shit. It was it was the old school days. So that's like his understanding of computers and shit. Like, he could tell me ins and outs about all that shit. Thinks Pornhub is probably the safest site, is full of viruses. Goes thinks being probably the safest site is full of viruses and goes to sketch off porn sites like an idiot. The URL found on his computer was, or some shit like that. You are not serious, dude. You literally found that as a fucking URL. Horsefuckers.com? Oh my god. You probably could have spaced the .com, because that's an actual URL I can click right now, and I don't want to click it. I don't want to, like, accidentally... I'm not joking at all. Jesus Christ. Oh god. Well, what the fuck? What the fuck, dude? Yeah, that's literally how you get fucking viruses. Like, I mean, dude, bruh. Like, even if you want to find, like, some... to send the URL, well, it does that. Like, it's not your fault, obviously. I mean, it's just, like, if you type in, like, a link, you know, it's going to treat it like a link. At least if you're a mod. And you are, so, you know, at least for YouTube chats, you know, at least when it comes to that, like, if you're a mod, you can send links. So... hence, URLs like that will pop up. I tried to see. Well, I mean, I got the little... I think it's down here. But I got that little, like, text chat. I mean, people are gonna see that it was there, but, I mean, they're not gonna be able to, like, click it or whatever the fuck now. Unless they decide to actively type it into their fucking web search. Then at that point, then, you know, they are too curious to see if it works. I'm willing to just, you know, give benefit of the doubt and say it works and just not click it. I don't need to see what's going on over there. Jesus Christ. Dude, I mean, like, even if you want to, like, check out some weird kinky shit, like, there are safe sites for that. It's not even the worst one I saw. I honestly I believe you. Because for every, like, safe porn site and shit, there's at least, like, 100 that are not, and they got weird shit. I mean, honestly, there's always, like, an off chance that, you know, you accidentally go onto those type of fucking, you know, like, sites and shit. You know, like, because if you're, like, like on Pornhub stuff, they have, like, those advertisements that go, you know, off, you know, site to other fucking porn sites and shit. You know, so it's like, and sometimes they pop up before the video starts and blah blah blah. So there's like, you know, the offshoot that, you know, it's just like, you know, oh, accidentally misclick and shit. But I mean, just doing that doesn't get you viruses and shit. At least not usually. You know, it's like, I mean, sometimes it can just on virtue click and stuff like that, but you would have to actually like actively like be all, you know, like messing with the offsite link and shit that's directing you to actually, you know, usually get shit like that. So he's like purposely going to sketchy ass shit, probably purposely downloading things as well and other shit that's causing that. BigBlackFurburger.com, whatever that means. I'm gonna take a guess and say that he really likes big hairy like pussies on black women, and that website is dedicated to that, or at least predominantly. If I had to take a guess, Furburger is usually like another, you know, way of saying like, you know, like hairy pussy, I would assume. So like just, or I think, I don't know, like I'm just taking a guess. They changed it since I used it a decade ago, but I saw a couple of Onion Tor links. I mean, Onion Tor links. I mean, like, whenever I have a computer, I usually like to download Tor as well. I mean, not because of, like, you know, ooh, I want to check shit out. Like, because honestly, a lot of the stuff that I want to look, I could just go find on the fucking Pornhub. Like, I mean, frankly, I mean, I don't really have to go fucking far. So it's just like, usually a lot of that, it's more like, hey, I want to like check out some, you know, stuff that I'm more really curious about. And obviously I don't want to like, you know, have like some weird like, oh, well, this guy's gonna do something or some shit. So, and even then Onion Tor links are not like a total cure-all for that shit. Because basically the main reason is that like, unless you actively know how to continuously like, you know, change ISP, stuff like that, it really doesn't mean shit. Like, it does for a little bit, but if you're just consistently using the same type of, like, you know, safe walls and shit, I mean, eventually they're gonna get broken through, no matter what. I mean, honestly, that's really what it's there for. It's like, add extra firewalls and hope that you know, aren't being tracked, basically. Only 3 reasons to get on dark web: illegal prawn, drugs, terrorism. Or, well, not just necessarily drugs, but just black market, you know, things in general. Like, you know, potentially illegal guns, you know, like, you know, other substances that might not necessarily be drugs either, but like different chemical components that you can't just, you know, legally get as easy. Shit like that. I mean, you know, the dark web's full of all sorts of stuff. I mean, and granted, I'd say that, you know, there's some things that probably are fine. It's just due to the shock and the morbidity of everything. It's just like, you know, it's obviously not meant to be on the surface, so to speak. But but despite that, like 95+% of the dark web is full of, you know, very illegal shit. The other 5% would probably be like obscure, like extreme fetishes, like body mutation fetishes or some shit. You know, like the Ermin Myface, you know, types and shit. Black market terror, yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, and like in black market, like I said, you know, or I guess also like kind of like, you know, in very super hyper niche clicks. You know, like I said, when it comes to, like, extreme body mod shit, like, you know, oh, I want to, like, you know, have, you know, like, my dick amputated or some shit, because it turns them on or something, and they want that to be, like, you know, like, some weird thing that they actively want to do and shit. Which, technically, isn't illegal, but is extremely fringe, you know, but weirdly enough, at least in Europe, at least in, like, some places, there's actually like a super niche thing with that. It's so fucking weird. And I don't get it. And I really am not looking to try to figure out why. Back in the day, I knew a guy who used the online Silk Road and bought heroin for China. This was back in high school before Fent took over. It's probably how a lot of Fent gets over to the country anyway, if you think about it. The online Silk Road. It's honestly a term I haven't heard in a long fucking time, frankly. Back then, you could recently assume you wouldn't die doing it. Yeah. I mean, shit. Like, honestly, if you think about it, like, even back in the day, there was, like, kind of a sense of, like, I guess, like, code, when it came to, like, dealing, especially when it came to shit like heroin. I kind of noticed this a little because I've been watching a bunch of different, like, things for Boardwalk Empire lately. Like, my YouTube Shorts has been, like, flooded with shit like that lately, and I've been kind of infused into it lately. So, something that I actually want to watch the show now. I need to, I don't know where it's at, but I'm going to find it and watch it at some point. But, there was this one scene that kind of stuck out because it was, one of the different heroin dealers that, was, a part of the market, I think in, like, Atlanta or some shit. And basically, this, woman was going into the barbershop, where she was saying, hey, I heard, like, there's a person I could talk to about, like, certain inquiries, and they're like, oh yeah, he's over there. And he's just, like, getting his, shoe shine, just chilling there, looking like a fucking king, like this black dude, because it's in a black community where, this neighborhood's set up at, and he just kind of looks at his white lady, it's like, you're kind of far from home, aren't you? It was kind of a funny little thing, and she's like, nowhere's far from home, with my type of, life and shit, blah, blah. And they have a little back and forth, and she's like, so I need a little something to help, for my bad day, and blah, blah, blah. She's asking for heroin, and he's just like, well, it comes with a cost and shit. And, she basically pulls out the equivalent of maybe, like, $15, honestly. She pulled out, like, $1 and, like, some change. And he just kind of sat there, just like, this really isn't anything. Like, he was just like, this, like, is barely a hit for you. Like, I mean, it's like he was almost attempted to say, just fuck off. Like, very politely, obviously. And then, she was like, well, I could offer other services. And he just kind of noticed, just considering that, she, wasn't really being, like, like, aggressive or anything like that. He just kind of, like, had a sense of empathy. It was like, all right, fine. I'll take this for now. And you know what? I'm not, you don't even have to offer your other services. She was offering just like a stick, basically. and he was just like, now, understand. And he was, before he gave it to her, he was like, now understand that, like, I don't want you, like, making this like a big thing, to you where you have to be super dependent. Like, this is something that's meant to be, like, fun and stuff. And he noticed her arm, and it's like, be careful with this. Like, I want, my customers come back. Like, I mean, and he just kind of had this little smile. It's like, understand, it's like, yeah, I know you like it, and I know you're stuck to it, but watch out, like, because, I don't want you dying over it. Like, because, the reason why is because he wants her money and shit, returning customers so he can keep making a profit. But, there's a little emphasis of, like, I don't want you just, like, dying randomly, so to speak, because then I'm losing, bucks. I'm losing a way to keep my fucking, like, reciprocal, like, money game going. I mean, it's a negative, if you have, like, the people you're dealing to just dying from overdoses and shit. But nowadays, it's like, there's so many fucking people, and there's, like, such a swath, market, so to speak, and such a, like, quantity, and shit, that, frankly, it doesn't fucking matter anymore. And so, like, that type of shit, frankly, is just kind of out the window in a way. They're able serious in ways measured and not able to unless they're a buyer game. Foreign physical and mental labor while when we could do sexual labor is what I mean. Well, I guess, well, sure. And yeah, I mean, I ain't gonna necessarily disagree with that. It's not necessarily an incel thing to say. I mean, it's just like something that historically is just something that, seen throughout humanity. Like, yeah, I mean, prostitution's, like the oldest profession, as they say. Outside of hunting and gathering, the oldest profession besides that is, prostituting yourself. I mean, so, yeah, I mean, so it's not exactly, at least to me, a shocking or, controversial thing. But I guess, I'd say is that just, it's not, some sort of an essentialism, element because of that shit. That's where I think, it ends up becoming the problem. Like, because I think the idea that, like, yeah, historically and contemporarily, in a lot of cases, still, that's been the case, But, I think at least contemporary is changed, it's trying to change at that point, to some extent. But, it's something that, like, it's just been, like, heavily, ingrained in the part of, like, humanity and culture for a long time. Whereas it's like, when it comes to, like, sexual favors and stuff, it definitely is, easier, at least societally, sense, for, a woman to, take advantage of things like that. However, though, like, it's not like they want to. That's kind of the caveat. Because, the reason why they do that, though, is because, men want to have sexual favors, because humans are sexual beings. I mean, and though, like I said, back and forth and around here with this type of shit, pinballing, like, I mean, prostitution is a profession because there's a lot of women that like doing it. But at the same time, it's, something that is a heavily exploitative thing because there's probably, and frankly, a lot more women out there that end up doing that shit that don't want to and are desperate and do that as a way to, try to get something that they need, but it's something that they don't want to do because they have nothing else to trade or offer, so to speak. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, I guess, with the initial point, being true, it, it doesn't really make a good, bad, right, or wrong. But, it definitely has, elements of really both. Like, there's elements where, sure, it's a good thing, but in a lot of ways, it's, it could be a very negative and bad thing. But, the idea of having sex work, though, is, I think in my mind a good thing. Because, at the end of the day, having, like, at least some sort of a basis of, like, accessibility societally wise, to something like that, I think should be a okay thing. It should be fine. But then you get swerves and then weird Christian right-wing prudes that are like, nah, can't have that. Sanctity with the marriage is worth sexual. I think at least those are bought to trade for goods services, while a homeless man might have nothing but physical labor for bare minimum dollars. Well, I don't really think that's necessarily a good example either way, because, I mean, for really different reasons. One, that homeless woman is, doing so because she's exploited and desperate. And a homeless man is doing the same, is doing it for the exact same reason. Exploited and desperate. But, I guess, the outcomes of doing physical labor and shit, is a better outcome in comparison to selling your body. But, the homeless man can do that, as well, and a lot of do. So, I mean, it's, I don't know, it's not necessarily, like, at least in my mind, the greatest example, because, I mean, when you're homeless and shit and you're desperate to, either get a fix or get some food or whatever the fuck, I mean, you will literally do anything. Now, I've heard, like, homeless dudes, specifically men, who were straight but then kind of get, like, sexually fucked up because they had to, like, suck a dude's dick or some shit like that, or get fucked in the ass and stuff like that. Whilst being straight, and not liking it and not wanting to do it whatsoever, but because they're desperate for either a fix or because they, needed something, whatever the fuck, they had to do it. Or, well, they didn't really have to, but they thought in their mind, well, I need to do this and shit. I just assumed sex work wasn't hard compared to, say, nuclear research. I mean, it's, well, I mean, yeah, it's not hard in comparison to nuclear research. I mean, no shit. But it's hard, mentally and emotionally. I mean, and it can be physically, but mostly on a mental and emotional level. Because, like, there's a lot of exploitation that can definitely happen when it comes to sex work, and there is. Like, I mean, that's the reason why I think normalization of sex work and, making it more on the legal level, will help, I think, mitigate a lot of this exploitation. I didn't mean to do an accidental sexism. Well, I don't think you're intentionally doing it. Like, that's why I'm not, like, getting at you over shit like that. I'm just, like, if anything, it just seems like, just kind of like a misunderstanding more so than, like, a sexism, I guess. Like, sexism would be like, nah, this is how it is, type of shit. It's like, nope, this is how that is, and this is how, the women are, and, they do this and that, and they have it easy, and blah, 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 blah. Like, that would be sexist. But just being like, I think, just because of this or that, and blah, blah, at least how I understand, like, that's not really being sexist. That's just, like, you know, it's an observational thing that, you know, might have a misunderstanding, you know, behind it, and it's not totally correct, but isn't like, you know, it's not an intentional thing. Which makes sex work regularly with view and use baked into framework. Yeah. Like the Johns have to provide proof of a negative STD test before they bang the girls. And also, well, also the girls have, like, you know, well, not just girls, but, I mean, whoever is a sex worker, frankly. You know, but, like, you know, whoever's a sex worker also, you know, gets tested and has, you know, things that, you know, are available, you know, on site, you know, for safe sex and shit like that. Condoms, you know, things like that nature. And the girls have to do regular STD tests to make sure they're, yeah. And, you know, and not, at least when it comes to, like, the dirtiness of the safety conditions in that way, I think definitely helps. And I think it also helps when it comes to potential negative, exploitative, and oppressive and abusive, like, environments as well. Because, like, if you got it on a legal sense, like, you basically have a strip club, but instead of it, it's just a brothel instead. And you have, like, the same framework where you have, like, bouncers who are, like, watching your every fucking move, you know, so it's like, hey, you know, it's like, you know, you better not be touching the girls or this or that or whatever the fuck, unless, you know, it's a private thing or this and that, and even then you can't touch them or whatever the fuck. But it's like, unless it's like, you know, they're, you know, you're having a one-on-one personal service in the room and shit, you know, it's like, you know, keep the same type of rules and stuff. I mean, I think it would help, you know, keep somebody who's just like, yeah, I want to fuck this chick, and just, like, go up to them or whatever just because they paid the fee or some shit, like, and just, like, have their way or whatever the fuck. I mean, it could cut that shit off, too. Because it's not just like, oh, they're just some, like, product. They're still a fucking human being. Like, they're trading their time, and if they just, and at the end of the day, they also have the right, at least in my mind, you know, sex workers should have the right at any point if they want to cut it off, you know, and even if they don't want to offer an explanation, if they just want to, like, cut it off of you and end your, like, you know, your time early with them, they could do that. I think they should absolutely have that type of fucking right. And if you make a lip about it, then you're getting kicked the fuck out. But if you're like, oh, well, okay, whatever, that kind of sucks, and you go back in the main lobby and just kind of chill for a little bit and maybe find another chick, whatever. I mean, you know, the night's still early and fresh, you know, as they say. You know, but, like, I mean, yeah, like, but if you get all fuckety, you know, and all, you know, all lippy and all in a fuss, then you're getting kicked out. And aggressively so. So, I mean, all in all, I definitely, you know, there's partial refund for the time you didn't get to use. Well, if you make a lip about it, like, alright, I will agree with that. Like, at least for the time that wasn't, you know, used, you know, and you're like, oh, damn, that sucks, you know, for reasons not related to violence. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I guess so, yeah, sure. I mean, if it's like, she maybe is not feeling it, or, you know, whatever the fuck, or some shit like that, I mean, or if maybe, like, it's honestly, like, there could be, you know, times where, you know, you're on the job, and you're like, ugh, I'm honestly not feeling good, you're feeling kind of sick, or something like that, and you're kind of starting to do the main part of the labor of your job, and you realize, okay, maybe I shouldn't have come into work today, you know, I'm not really feeling my best. You know, like, that happens. So there should at least be some sort of, like, hey, you know, like, you know, the worker has the right to say, hey, you know, for whatever reason, even if I don't want to explain it to you, I can cut this off. And if it's, you know, meritable to where you probably shouldn't get a refund, and, you know, like, because you were causing a problem, or you were, like, you know, causing lip, or, you know, trying to, like, cause a fight because she cut it off, or he cut it off, or some shit, then, yeah, you don't get a refund. But if you know, are reasonable and chill, and you're like, oh, shit, okay, and you just, you know, like I said, go back to, like, the main, like, lobby room where, like, the dancers and all that other shit are going on, blah, blah, blah. As long as you haven't harmed sex work anyway, I think you should be able to ask for a refund. Sure. Yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think that should at least be, you know, okay. You know, at least, you know, being able to be like, you know, hey, if you, like, even if the worker's like, hey, if you want, you can try to get a refund, and you can explain the situation, and let them know it was me, and I can let them know too. Like, I mean, like, you know, like, take it outside of a sex worker, you know, perspective here, like, when it comes to retail work. I mean, I do this type of shit, where it's like somebody comes up, you know, like, saying, hey, you know, like, this food was, you know, like a little too dry or this or that or some shit, I'll be like, okay, well, you know, hey, you know, here's what I could do. I'll get you, you know, a free, you know, like replacement. And if you, and honestly, if you want, you can go over there to customer service, you know, and they'll be able to get you a refund. And, you know, just let them know that, you know, the situation, and, you know, and I can get you a free replacement over here. You know, and, you know, they'll be okay with that too. You know, do this all the time with people, and as long as they're chill with it, and they're like, okay, yeah, all right, that's fine. And they go over there and do that shit and come back, you know, and I give them their fresh, free thing, you know, that they want to replace, and end up walking out a happy camper. I mean, you know, so honestly, all in all, like, I mean, you know, just have, like, that type of, like, you know, system in place. If, like, you know, someone was, you know, had the same problem, like, oh, their food was too dry or some shit, and inedible, and they came up at me being like, what the fuck, bro, you know, some shit, I'm not gonna help them. I'm gonna be like, you can get a refund over there, not my problem, bro. Like, I mean, don't come at me over that type of shit. Like, I mean, jeez, like, I mean, it's not my fault, you know, it's not my problem, either. Like, I mean, come at me respectfully, and then we can work something out. But if you're being like, what the fuck, and yelling at me or some shit, then I'm not, frankly, gonna help you. Like, so, you know, tough shit. Because, you know, we also have the right to refuse, you know, to help people like that. In fact, fuck, like, one of our PhDs last night, when he was walking us through before I left for the night, when we were done last night, he noticed that we had, like, this little pipe that one of our coworkers, like, taped, like, one end to be, like, a handle, and just been kind of, like, waving it around like a sword or some shit. And our PhD was like, dude, you should honestly keep that back here, because, you know, that will come in handy. You never know when you need something for self-defense, bro. It's like, dude, like, because lately there's been some crazy people coming in here every now and then, which honestly, every now and then there's some pretty weird, wacko fucking people. And I'm just like, you know, yeah, like, every now and then I'm just like, yeah, you know, the thing's light enough to where I can just go, pop, you know, just bonk someone on the head with it across the counter or some shit. And it's like, yeah, dude. Yeah, keep that around. And so I'd have security forces in these places to protect the girls more than anything. Well, yeah, the whole idea, at least for security, especially in, like, strip clubs and brothels, should be to protect the workers. The sex workers, specifically. Yeah. That's where my goons drag you out once you start harassing staff, or at least that's how to run things. Yeah. Like, I mean, if you start harassing staff and start, you know, becoming a nuisance, you know, you're gonna have, like, two big Icelandic strongman beefcakes coming up to be like, sir, you need to leave. And then, you know, they're just gonna, and, you know, that's how they're gonna be. They're just gonna, sir, you need to leave. And then they're just gonna grab you by the shoulder with their fucking polar bear maw of a claw, like, you know, just like, of a hand, just like, and then just like slowly but surely just walking you, you know, to the door. And if you have any lip, then they're just gonna grab you and just lift you up like a fucking log and just like throw you out the door. I give them coupons for half-off blows monthly. Oh my god. Nah, I would say do pizza party, not just for the security, dude, do this for, like, like, for everybody. Like, have, like, you know, maybe, like, a weekend where the brothel's close to the public, but, you know, it's kind of like a worker party, you know, so, like, you know, like, you know, so, like, the workers, you know, like, the security team, the girls, and the guys, too. I mean, but I don't, like, by the way, Venom, why do you keep thinking a brothel is only gonna have women in it? Like, what? Like, are trans, you know, people, or NBs, or men not allowed to be sex workers either? Huh? But anyway, I'm just fucking with you. But like, you know, like, I mean, you know, just have a big party, like, every 6 months or some shit. Yeah, like, have a weekend or, like, a day, you know, like, where it's closed off. Oh, you know what? On Sunday, there you go, the Holy Sabbath, where it's like, you know, it's like, hey, we're not working on Sunday. Every 6 months on a Sunday, there you go, day off. You don't see trans or gay sex workers much down here. They still exist, obviously. And so what? I mean, like, they're up here. No, plenty of them up here. Forgive me for accidentally erasing trans and gay workers. Dude, I said I was kind of fucking with you. Like, I mean, I'm not being that serious. I'm not scolding you over it. Oh my lord. I was teasing you. Jeez. I mean, I kind of figured you were, you know, also kind of meaning that as well. Like, when you were saying with, like, the girls or whatever the fuck, but I'm you know, like I said, you don't see many of them where you're from, so it's like you just think as like, you know, the prostitutes as well the chicks. So, but you know, there's others, there's guys too, and you know, everything else in between, and also like gay, you know, men sex workers aren't all gay. Best name for a brothel? The Cat's Paw. I kind of have another one. The Lion's Den, dude. I like that one. The Cat's Paw is a pretty good one, too. Like, anything that has to do with cats, honestly, or like, you know, felines, is always gonna work. The Cougar's Den? Oh, that's even better. That's even better, honestly. The Cougar's Den, the Panther's Den. Ooh. The Anaconda Pit. Oh shit, dude, we're starting to come up with some names, dude. The Anaconda Pit, the Panther Den, or just really any, like the Lion's Den, the Cougar Den, Panther Den, like I mean, Jaguar Den. Yeah, honestly, like any cat, like really is gonna work. I feel like snake puns work better for gay brothels. But then you got Nicki Minaj's Anaconda. I mean, it's not all like, yeah, I mean, you know, like an anaconda can also, you know, like not be a gay thing. It would too. Oh. Ooh, what's like a good, like, like very openly gay brothel name? The Lion's Pride. There we go. I like that. You know what? Another one that has a cat in it, but it works, I think. Because Pride, you know, that it works perfect, honestly. Because Pride, it's just right there. That's honestly all you would need in it. Something that, you know, just like, you have to just like put that in something, you know, like with a colloquial with it. Like, let's see, what else? What else could work with it? Trying to. I feel like it will be a little too, like, macho, but, like, the Hunter's Pride, I feel like would, like, kind of work, but I feel like it would be, like, you know, like, almost, like, too, like, trucker macho vibe, almost. It'd feel a little, like, odd. I guess it could be aesthetic, like, you know, a bunch of, like, gay bear truckers and shit, so, I don't know, I guess it could work as a theme, but... met more trans people than I knew ever existed in Bama in the last 6 months. Well, part of it's probably just because, like, I mean, trans people feel more comfortable coming out, too, and thus are being more open about it. And plus, maybe you're starting to feel a little bit more like a sense of, like, you know what, fuck you, I am this, and she ain't gonna tell me otherwise gumption, because of, like, a lot of the far-right, you know, attack against them and shit. Stepdouche knows what a lot lizard is, and that makes me think he engaged with sex workers as a trucker. Well, yeah, I mean, duh. This trucker term for a prostitute. Yeah, I've heard it before. But, I mean, he's a trucker, yeah. The chances are they're, you know, like, if someone's like a long-term trucker, you know, has been doing that, like, you know, for a while, chances are they've done either some cocaine or like some sort of hard upper drug like that, you know, a stimulant, and have, you know, hired a prostitute at least once or twice. So, you know, if they've been, you know, trucking around for like 20 plus something years, some shit, chances are they've done one or two of those things. And basically they sustain themselves on nothing but like energy, coffee, and like nicotine and other shit. And, like, you know, greasy diner food. I don't want to think about hitting my cocaine bacon hookers. I'm just saying. I mean, chances are. I mean, it's just an assumption. I mean, it's not always the case, but I want to be doing the cocaine hookers. Well, be a trucker then. I don't know. Start trucking this long country. Go around from town to town. Maybe if he was my wingman. Oh my god. I love how, like, basically most of the stream has just been talking about, like, sex work and everything around it. Nice. I dig it.
Voting.
Oh, god damn it. Hold on.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Sunday morning.
God damn it.
Good morning. Sunday morning.
I fucking love that clip so much. And she just malfunctions and it's just like, good morning. Sunday morning. Can we go back to early? To the early time, it was just getting good. Hey Nancy, that's well, dude. I mean, you can't lie. That is like the most hilarious clip, dude. That's when she literally short-circuited herself and just went like, "Good morning, Sunday morning," just out of nowhere, just like when she was asked a question. This was like 2 years ago. I can't believe it was that long ago, dude. It was back in 2020, dude. I thought this happened like 2021 or some shit. What the fuck? Man, fuck, time flies. I deadass thought that happened like... Wait, the Morgan Thirst post? Well, it's... Oh my god. Oh my god, it's like... It's, what, I played it like, what, twice?
Good morning. Sunday morning.
Good morning. Sunday morning. Oh my god, I love that clip. Jesus Christ. Oh man, it's just fucking gold. I love it. And just has an alcoholic fucking schlubby ass fucking drunk of a husband. Oh my god. Dude, the Pelosi's are just like such a fucking hick ass fucking like piece of elitism. Like, for being, like, weird, prudish elites, like, they're the most, like, hick-looking like, fuckers that, like, really are, like, so, you know, to really be in office, if you think about it. A fucking alcoholic, disheveled-ass fucking DUI nuisance, fucking drunk of a fucking husband. Like, a fucking goddamn, just, like, old wino, like, mom status of a hacky-ass, like, harpy woman, and just, like, being a mummy, you know, and shit. Like, ugh. Just, my god. Ugh. Fucking butthole is censored. Oh my god, wow. Fuck you, YouTube. We're fucking adults. We can handle naughty words. can't handle bad words, YouTube. We're fucking adults. God damn. Ugh. Oh my god. These should be Olympic events. Fingerboard skating? True. Assembling IKEA furniture. Applying fitted sheets. A really long javelin. Throwing really long javelins in there. I mean, there's just regular old javelins, and then you got like really long javelins. Trumpster Bob's challenge? No. The way you described that just ensures that I'm not going to do it, at least in the way you described it. No. What the fuck? Here, let's check out a little clip before we go off to work. Since we're not at an hour yet. I need to stop watching Drug Pants. This is best where I learned that Kanye came out of hiding and saying he's 21 Jump Street cured his Nazism. Funny enough, I actually saw something on my homepage. I was scrolling around. I figured maybe you were watching Vosh's stream because there's a Vosh clip on it. See? There's a Vosh clip right there. It was just uploaded, so I figured you probably saw a stream of his. Maybe Vosh was on DP? I have no idea. Here, let's watch Tulsi be a fucking moron. Not sub to Vosh.
Tulsi Gabbard, queen
Boo.
of the...
My dude, my guy. Unbased. I'm kidding, I'm not. Vosh's been on DP several times. Yeah, I know. Yeah, like, it's honestly, like, the only time I watch DP is if, like, at this point, like, Vosh or, like, I know the Humanist Report will sometimes be on DP. Like, if there's, like, some person that's a guest that I recognize on there, then, yeah, I'll, like, tune in every now and then, but I don't really, like, actively watch DP anymore.
Going believes the separation of church and state is bad, I guess.
They still call DP a far-right podcast. I mean, they're not. I do think, you know, like, there's a decent part of their audience that probably are far-right because they, you know, always are talking about, like, right-wing shit and never really, like, going into, like, the actual seriousness of it, you know, and, you know, about it and shit, and just kind of, like, you know, just kind of troll around it and stuff. So, I mean, so, I don't know. I mean, it's like they're not, but, you know, it's like in a way they kind of, you know, just, like, let it slide, so to speak. I mean, not like, oh, it's just fine, but they just don't really, like, you know, go at it, like, as aggressively as it should be. Especially considering that, like, you know, obviously, like, I mean, say what you want, but, like, you know, Ben and Billy are definitely not, like, fucking far-right at all. Starting to dislike Crystal Ball. I mean, I've never really been a big fan of her in the first place.
It's ironic to me
But
that
this is about Tulsi.
God, someone you can trust is who is being run out of society.
What the hell did you just say?
Wait, what the fuck? Wait, what? Yeah, hold on, huh?
It's ironic to me that God, someone you can trust is who is being run out of society.
What the hell?
God is being ran out of society? Okay, one, good, and two, like, where's his, like, where is he to be like, alright, I'm out, guys, bye, see ya. It's alright, I'm seeing that there's a lot of woke going on here and a lot of ungod stuff, so I'm out. like, where's he, you know, making this, like, declaration, like, I'm out, guys, see ya.
You say?
I shouldn't have to remind them of this, but God is not real. There's as much evidence for God as there is evidence for the Tooth Fairy and Santa Claus. With that being said, you can believe whatever the fuck you want, but that doesn't mean that you have a right to push your religion on everyone else. As the famous trope goes, you know, it's okay if you have a penis but you don't get to take it out and flop it around in front of people in public. Let's treat religion the same way, okay? Don't talk about it in public. Keep that shit to yourself and talk to your ceiling on your own time. Don't.
True. I mean, and honestly, it's just like, I mean, there's even, passages of the Bible where it says, like, you shouldn't, like, be street preaching or, like, proselytizing out publicly and trying to boast about, like, your affinity of God, because, like, that's not necessarily, the true, like, Christian thing, so to speak, at least in the eyes of Jesus and within the New Testament and stuff. So it's like this idea that, like, oh, well, we need to go out there and shove God down everyone's throats and stuff is technically not, I mean, it's cherry picked. I mean, obviously there's like, it will say do that and, not to do that. So it doesn't really matter, but that's kind of the point. Like, I mean, you can pick, anything you like in the Bible and it won't enforce, a certain, way of doing things.
Shit down my throat because I don't want to hear it. I'm not part of your dumbass little book club. I am an atheist. I'm an anti-theist to be exact. And I don't
based Mike
fuck with religion.
In many of our founding documents, separation of church and state found nowhere in our founding documents.
All you have to do is look at the fucking First Amendment, dum-dum.
Yeah, the first fucking amendment says it, you dumb cunt. Like, I mean, and I love how Tulsi, who's supposedly a fucking Hindu, is, like, sitting there with a nice little, like, empty smile on her face, just being like, yes, like, yes, this whole thing about God, this sad loss that, we have had, because me, like, who worships Vishnu and shit, better fucking, worry about, like, the biblical Abrahamic God.
Says that government shall make no law.
Like, honestly, it's just like, it's also like one of these, like, I'm like, like multi-religious, like, because there's people that say they're Buddhist but also Christian and shit like that. It's like, is she, one of those types where it's like, oh, I'm a Hindu but I'm also like Christian or something? Like, is she one of those types? Because that's because a part of me is like, the only reason why she's prophetizing about this, like, Christian moralism and shit is because, like, either she partially agrees and believes in this stuff, or, well, it's a grift. And frankly, I think it's both. Like, she's grift, and honestly, and I hate how she's, like try to appropriate aloha and shit into her fucking framework with, like, everything, and it's so fucking annoying. It's like, do you think Hawaiians, really are, like, looking at aloha as, like, being an empty, like, grifty-ass fucking, like, fucking selling point? Because it's not. So, why don't you just go ahead and take that aloha of yours, Tulsi, and shove it? Because, like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people from Hawaii don't really actually, appreciate that, honestly. Or, where it's, like, the actual genuine good token of goodwill, that, and, like, good welcomings and, and farewells and stuff, is being used, for a grifty fucking stuffed suit point.
The establishment of religion, okay?
I don't want to do anything. All I want to do is make food, make him... Dude, yeah. That sounded hella gay, bro.
Where it is. You can choose to disagree with it, but that is a fact. But Jesus told me I have to tell everyone about him. Yeah, that's true, James. That's true. That's why they won't shut the fuck up about it. It's so annoying. And also, they believe that if you can, like, convince someone to accept Jesus, then that's, like, the biggest dub, right? Like, your mansion in heaven is going to get, like, an extra bedroom for each soul that you save. So, yeah.
Or it's been utilized to create a religion of secularism. Do you think it's doing damage, the fact that we are erasing broadly God out of a society in a way perhaps our founders never intended?
There's no question about it, Kaylee. You see this erosion of this spiritual foundation of our country as a direct consequence of those who are trying to erase God from just about every facet of our public lives. This is
why do you care? You're a Hindu. Are you, Tulsi? Like, honestly, like, I mean, come on, bitch. Like, you're gonna worry about, like, the sanctity of Christian morals when you're, someone who's a Hindu? Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Main reasons why I chose to leave the Democratic Party, because I saw
Tulsi, you're not even a fucking Christian.
I mean, maybe she honestly kind of is. Like, I mean, like, because I think she's maybe like a Hindu and Christian, like a Christian Hindu or something.
She's not a Christian!
Like, you want
God.
evangelicals to enforce their religion through government on all of us when you literally aren't even a Christian? Yeah, she's Hindu, right? she was calling everyone who questioned her ties to Modi, which do exist, like Hindu phobic during the 2020 election. And now,
yeah, she did. Like, and also, like, she is, you know, like, she does have legitimately, like, strong ties, you know, to, you know, like, the far-right Hindu nationalism that is in India, which is why I think she is at least, you know, Hindu. But, I mean, like, you know, at least when it comes to, like, at least when it comes to, not you, ignore talking to my, I know, dude, that was, like, pretty freaky. But anyway, like I was saying, it's like, I mean, she's definitely, like, religiously Hindu, but I think she might just be culturally Christian, like how Jordan Peterson sells himself, like, he's, like, not, like, I guess technically agnostic. I think he's just Christian at this point. But, like, I mean, he technically is agnostic and fucking, like, you know, is incessantly, continuously talking about Christian values and shit and how that should be a part of the modern cultural framework. I think Tulsi's just the same way. Like, she's just religiously Hindu, but definitely fucking, like, a culturally, like, you know, Christian, you know, that is trying to espouse, you know, social Christian values. Definitely culturally Christian. No, the fuck, you're not. You're the antithesis of that, dude.
Here, like,
so am
saying,
I.
No, evangelicals are right, actually, to push their religion on everyone. Like, yeah, this is Christo-fascist BS. Like, they feel entitled to push...
Okay, celebrating a holiday. Okay, who gives a fuck about the holidays? So as far as I'm concerned, those are, like, you know, been appropriated more beyond just Christianity. Like, you really think Christmas and Easter shit is just, like, strictly Christian at this point? I mean, come
on everyone, and Tulsi's going along with it. Yes, as a Hindu, actually, I do think Christians should be able to dictate what all of us believe. That's really smart, Tulsi. Really smart.
Increasingly, how not only were they trying to erase God from, or any mention of God, or you know, attacking people of faith.
As should be the case, we should erase God from all public settings. I mean,
I definitely also agree with this. I'm not against that at all. I mean, it's like, it's like, Tulsi, quit teasing me of good time. And honestly, like, isn't that just kind of the summary of Tulsi a little bit? Like, she always just teased people with, you know, some good times. It's just like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, come out in the Democratic primaries and, you know, basically be kind of like a backup, you know, for progressives and, you know, and all this other shit. Talk about being anti-war and this and that. And then, you know, a lot of her, you know, weird shit started coming out, and then, you know, she started talking about the wokeness and all that shit and how bad that is. But every time she talks about how bad it is, it's like, god damn, I wish it was that bad. Like, fuck, erasing God for the society, you know. It's just like, you know, uh-oh, LGBT shit just normalized. God damn, what a horrible fucking blight upon society. Oh no, whatever shall I do? Tulsi, cry wolf more. Yes, if you're woke, yeah. You should have responded, well, I am awake right now, you know, I'm not asleep, so I guess I am woke.
That's what we should do, absolutely.
You should have just trolled him.
That's based.
People of spirituality, especially Christians, you see these attacks and you see the consequences in the direction, unfortunately, that much of our country is headed in, and the damage it's causing to families, to children, to our communities.
Oh, so true. Oh my god.
To our policymakers.
Why is her fucking blazer, like, her pink blazer is like, what is it, like fucking leather or something? What the fuck type of jacket is that? Like, what the fuck is she wearing, dude?
Many of whom think that they are God and are trying to control us in every possible way.
What? What, Tulsi? Wait, what? There are some people that think they're God who are trying to control us? What? That's kind of more true to the far-right freaks and shit, you dumbass. Oh my god, I hate, like, this projection that just constantly and incessantly happens with these fucking, like, right-wing gritty oh my god. It just really honestly annoys me more than anything at this point. I mean, it's just like, oh my fuck. Because it's just the same motherfucker shit. Because, like, I mean, because on one hand, it's like, I mean, like, how, like, do you rebuke when it's basically just like, well, yeah, it's that, but for your side. Like, that's literally what's going on. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it's like, It just gets more annoying at a certain point. It's like, my God, oh my God, I just...
It's so true. Tulsi, so much wisdom from you.
Oh my God, oh my goodness. So true, so much wisdom. Oh my God.
Thank you so
It's
couldn't agree.
astonishing to me that they actually think they're having like a substantive conversation, or at least they're pretending to have a substantive conversation. So true.
So much wisdom. Oh my God. Ugh, oh my God. Throw a fucking brick. My God. Well, that was just, Jesus Christ. That last little bit of it actually kind of crowded me up. Fuck. That's ironically made a Blair Wright reference if I realize she's trans. If you see a bulge in the liberal's pants, it's a penis. If you see a bulge in conservative pants, it's a gun. Oh my God, dude. Wow. And what's funny is that there was like a bunch of conservatives that, you know, still fucked on Blair Wright for that anyway. Like, still. It's like, really, Blair? It's like, I am still trying to wrap my head around her, dude. Because, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, like, I have, like, different theories in a way. Like, I feel like she's, like, partially, like, at least, like, you know, politically, like an op, in a sense. Like, I mean, well, she kind of is, I mean, being a grifter, but, like, I don't know, like, she's just, like, you know, somebody that I feel like has, you know, just, like, some more deeper, you know, motive, like, inside, you know, than just, like, oh, I'm a grifter and the token conservative, you know, trans person. Like, I mean... Well, I don't know, like, I feel like, you know, just these quote-unquote token grifters all, like, have some more deeper motive inside it than just being a token grifter fuck. And it's just like, and I feel like it's more or less, you know, maybe due to the fact it's a grifty thing. I don't know, maybe I'll, like, you know, delve into it a little bit, you know, when I get off work. Because, I mean, it's, I guess they're saying it's, conspiratorial. Dun dun dun. Where's that little doggo? Oh, he's over there. There you are. Hey, Stretchy. Just had to make sure you were around. If Blair wasn't a conservative cunt, I'd say she was hot. I mean, honestly, I would agree. She is, you know, like, you know, physically attractive person, but she's still a cunt. And still a venomous, ugly viper. Due to the fact that, you know, she has the values and ideas that she does. So. Oh my God, Venom, Jesus Christ. Well, I don't have to work here and all that fun shit, so peace out. And of course, I will be back after work, so